I'm Mike Quackenbush, and this is Till We Make It. If you are as passionate about the craft of professional wrestling as I am, then you have landed in the exact right place, my friend. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and join the Till We Make It tribe. Subscribe right now. Back before the doom cloud of the pandemic rolled over all of 2020, I happened to be down in Orlando, Florida, producing some NXT for the WWE. And it was the night before a taping at Full Sail University when I first got handed a TV format. And I don't mind telling you, the first time I looked at it, I felt a little wave of dread come over me, this much anxiety, because this was not at all what I was used to reading. It didn't look like a traditional pro wrestling lineup. In today's video, I'm going to reveal all of that to you. I want to walk you through it piece by piece so you know how to read a TV format and also understand what it's communicating to you. But in order to do that work, we're going to have to change angles, and we're going around the corner here to my workstation. Up front, I want you to know TV formats aren't written to be read or even interpreted by pro wrestlers, ringside managers, referees, the on-screen talent. This document, a TV format, it's relevant to directors, producers, camera operators, editors, anyone responsible for assembling a finished television show, whether they're doing it live as it's happening, they're putting it together on the fly, or they're going to assemble it all later, after the fact, in post-production. That's who this is oriented for. And because I don't want to get a cease and desist letter in the mail, I am not showing the NXT TV format that I was handed. Instead, this is for the fictional company Angst Ridden Championship Wrestling, who are about to film episode 28 of their series. At the very top of this document, you'll see it tells you both when it tapes and when it airs. With an important note here to aid the commentators or anyone else that needs to know, when this airs, they are 5 weeks until Thanksgiving Slaughter, their upcoming premium live event. So if commentators are going to reference that as they're making this episode of TV, they know they're not 2 months away. They're now 5 weeks away. Each of the items that you're going to see here have a time listed with them. So as the show opens, there are 15 seconds carved out for the ARCW audio signature and logo. Boom, 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 boom. ARCW flies up on the screen. And then we go right into a computer animated intro for the show that lasts an additional 30 seconds. And to close out the first minute of this TV episode, there will be just 15 seconds of crowd shots. You know exactly what this looks like. It's a lot of quick cuts and random zooms to excited people out in the audience to create a positive energy. Like this has got some momentum and some excitement behind it to pull the television viewer in. Then we're going right into segment 1. This is the first match of the episode listed directly underneath it. We know who the wrestlers are. It's the producer. Who is producing segment 1 on this episode of TV? Well, we can see right there. New Jersey veteran, 7.5 years in the business, Joey Bag of Donuts. You're moving up in the world, buddy. You're producing segment 1. And this segment has a time of 8 minutes, specified curtain to curtain. So you have to subtract out of that the time for the entrances and the time for the exit. And that's going to leave you with 5 to 6 minutes of actual in-ring action. Real quick, if you're learning something from today's video, would you give me 1 tap of your finger and 1 second of your time and leave me a like-a-palooza down below? Thanks for doing that. There are lots of directions on this TV format, like in arena. This is different from when graphics fly in, or even later here we'll talk about a package that's going to be dropped into the show. So we're in the arena as the Total Rebel, Tommy Redmayne. We hear his music. He makes his entrance, followed by his opponent. Kyle Inch Nails comes out. You'll notice here, every detail is listed. Music and entrance. Every detail is present here. Oftentimes, the people assembling these episodes, they aren't pro wrestling fans. They haven't watched thousands of hours of professional wrestling, so you can't skip any details. And
In the arena, we're going to see the match. The finish is clearly listed here. We know Tommy's over, so Tommy's music is going to play again. And then there's an aftermath segment. And this too is going to be included in that 8-minute runtime. Tommy goes up on the ramp to exit. He turns to the crowd to pose when, oh man, the baby accountant stands right behind Tommy. He's not aware this is going on. And when he turns around, baby accountant is going to break a glass bottle right over his head. Then it's specified right here on our format. We want to see the crowd reactions to this. And there's an even further direction here. Let it breathe. What does this mean? We're going to let this breathe by not having commentators necessarily screaming something over the top of it, right? About what a dastardly deed the baby accountant just perpetrated against the total rebel. We're going to focus on long shots. We're probably pulling away so we can see the action in whole. Maybe every once and again we're getting a close-up facial reaction shot, but this is calmer. It's less quick cuts. There isn't necessarily commentary over the top until the next thing on our format. Now we have 15 seconds of an on-camera specifically for the commentators to react to the attack, and then they are tossing to. So they're doing a verbal cue that means we're leaving the arena to see this package, a video package that's been prepared for this episode. Here you see its total runtime, 30 seconds. So we're going to see a bunch of social media graphics of the fans responding to last week's episode where Lone Wolf Dark issued an open challenge for this week's episode. Then we're cutting backstage. So we're not in the arena, right? We're backstage for a 1-minute segment here. You can see Lone Wolf Dark is lacing up his boots, getting ready for his open challenge match. He's going to put over his undefeated streak. That's what he's meant to speak about during this backstage segment, with the ultimate goal of becoming ARCW Interstate Champion. And the last thing before we go to commercial here, it's another graphic. So we're not going back into the arena here. A graphic's going to fly in on screen. Lone Wolf Dark's open challenge match. It's up next before we smash out the commercial break. And then this is the total runtime so far of the episode. We've used up 10 minutes and 55 seconds of the 44 minutes this episode has to contain in all. And this usually occurs after every big segment, but depending on who wrote the TV format, it could appear after every new piece. It's a total runtime so that you can keep track of where you're at. If you're ever called upon to contribute at a television taping and you're handed a TV format, this is what you can expect to see, and now you'll know exactly how to follow along. If you want to understand how to read a wrestling lineup, a run sheet as it's sometimes referred to, click on the video that's appearing on screen right now. It's going to take you there. Also appearing on screen is a link to my Patreon. Come and join our community and support the work of Till We Make It.